Hello, I'm Dr. Brandt Gibson, and tonight I want to talk to you about the final step, the seventh step of taking you from hedonistic happiness to eudaimonic happiness. So let's do a quick review first to help you see what's going on here. So remember, hedonistic happiness is externally based. It's actually looking outside for basically getting permission to be happy based on the outside influences, outside environment, so forth. So it's the things that are happening to you. Happiness is happening to you. You're not choosing to be happy. Whereas eudaimonic happiness is that happiness that comes from inside out, and it's based on who you are, based on all those pieces, and so it can actually be pretty significant. So let's walk through those steps quick and kind of remind you what we've done over the last several days. First thing is hunger. Basically, hedonistic happiness, the simplest form is you're pleasure based. You're basically looking just for the things. And an infant is in that situation where they eat, sleep, and poop. Or they eat, sleep, and go to the bathroom, basically. So that's all they do. That's all that's going on. And when we're pleasure based and we're focusing only on pleasure, really our happiness is completely externally based. It's hard to get anything to choose to be happy. It's all dependent on what's going on around you and what's happening to you. The second is acceptance, where literally you're allowing other individuals to tell you when, where, and how you can be happy. I mean, that's the easiest way to say it. You're basically limiting your happiness based on what other people say and what other people do and so forth. And so you're accepting their recommendations. You take it a little bit further. This is actually starting to move internally, but this is more of your personality based on who you are. So what's happened is you've listened so long that you get to the point that you're not literally waiting for people to tell you that you can be happy, but you've heard so many things that you believe certain things about yourself that you don't deserve this or those kind of things, and it's a lot more limited still, that you aren't to the point where you can actually choose happiness. That seems to be happening to you still, just not to the extent as it's only pleasure based. There's some internal, some external influences based on who you are. And the biggest thing here is, do you deserve happiness? And if you don't feel like you deserve happiness, a lot of times you're not going to have it. The next is perception. This is more of a time-based situation. And the question is, with this, you're going to look externally for how other people see it, how other people judge it, how other people think, to determine if it's a good thing or not, or if you should be happy or not. Or you're going to look internal and say, I'm going to worry about the journey, I'm worry about the processes and so forth. The next one, this was the one that we just did yesterday. This is more of the brain neuromatrix, basically how everything comes together, how you're wired and so forth. This is a bigger deal, a lot bigger deal actually, and it plays a key piece of the puzzle in trying to determine what's going on and what's happening in your life when you're trying to decide your happiness. The next one, which is today's, is mood. So if you look at that, the acronym is HAPPY, HAPPY, mood. And mood is really has two key pieces. And these key pieces are literally, you're going into you, get into you, and now, because you're now internal, you've actually internalized it with the you, with the wiring, and you're making it so you're actually physically choosing to be happy. Then there are two pieces of this. One is gratitude, and two is reaching outside yourself. So instead of receiving from the outside and hedonistic, you're now reaching from the inside out and providing happiness to other people and so forth. So there's two pieces to this. Number one is gratitude, joy and gratitude. And really what that comes down to is you're going to see what you're thankful for. You're going to show your gratitude. And the best way to do that is create a gratitude journal. Basically, you'll first thing in the morning or last thing at night, you actually create a journal where you're actually going to write down those things you're grateful for that happened that day. The advantage of this is it helps you understand reasons why you can have joy, reasons why you should be happy. And that's a good piece of the puzzle. The second piece of this is reaching out and serving others. You're going to be amazed at how much joy and how much happiness comes from serving and helping others. So let me show this to you one more time, just to remind you of the whole process so that you know you've got an option. You can actually choose to go from hedonistic or external happiness to eudaimonic or internal happiness. So you've got going from hunger or pleasure-based to acceptance and overcoming your limiting beliefs to personality, where you start to rewrite your story and change the way you're going, to you, where you say, okay, this is actually perception. Sorry, I skipped one. Perception, where you're saying, am I focused on what other people are seeing and feeling and so forth? Or am I saying I'm going to enjoy the journey and I'm going to enjoy the process and enjoy that memories as opposed to what other people see and hear. And then from there, you're going to say, okay, I'm going to choose at this point to be happy based on what I'm grateful for and based on reaching out and serving others. There is great power if you can learn how to do this. There's great power if you can decide that I am going to be happy. And it's a physical choice to make that step from hedonistic to eudaimonic happiness, but it is a process. You start on the outside and you're working in. It's Dr. Brandt Gibson. Thank you and have a great rest of your night.